for a Sunday morning. So since I last spoke with you guys, things have progressed a bit. There's been some discoveries made, and the reason I'm showing the air chisel, this tool that you're looking at now, is that's a wonderful tool if used in the right way. And it has its place, and there are ways to use it, and there are definitely ways not to use it. So this is going to be an illustration of what happens, what I'm about to show you, when you get impatient and maybe don't think things through as well as a person should. Lots of lessons to be learned, and the first lesson is have lots and lots and lots of patience, and really think through what you're about to do and what you are doing in your plan. Realizing, of course, that you don't want to get into analysis paralysis. You can overthink things. At some point you have to get something accomplished. But I'm going to take you underneath the car, and we're going to have a look at what this air chisel under my direction accomplished. So what you're looking at here is the mounting point to the frame, where the jacking point is welded. It's welded to tabs here and 2 tabs facing upward. And in the process of cutting those spot welds out and trying to remove the jacking point, which, as you can see, was sitting in this area here, I got impatient. It was difficult. I was trying to get these spot welds undone. I was trying to remove the part. I was getting frustrated, and I started getting, I guess, a little bit ahead of myself there, not really thinking through what I was about to do. But what I ended up doing is I drilled out the spot welds that were here, and also into here. And in that process, I didn't get all of the spot welds completely removed. And I used the air chisel, and I got the jacking point completely removed. But in the process, the damage I did to the frame member right here is actually pretty disturbing to me. Maybe I got this jacking point out, but in the process I actually created a lot of work for myself. So that's the point of this discussion, is don't get impatient. You make things hard for yourself, you make mistakes, you cause damage, and now I have to attend to this issue. I have to repair this. This is a pretty important piece of hardware under here. So I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to cut here and up here, and I'm going to fashion a piece. I'm going to tack weld that into position, and I got to make a good weld there. It can't be anything chintzy. It has to be done right. And this is a stress member. This is an important part of the framework. As well, I'm going to have to cut a portion of the floorboard to reveal the inside of the boxed in frame here. And the way it's fashioned is folded and tack welded to a plate to the floor pans and that from above. But I want to get in behind these welds, and I want to take my MIG welder, and I want to make darn sure that the inside as well as this side is attended to and strong. I might even put some extra metal in there. But that's setting me back, and it's things like that you can see where impatience leads to a lot more work. Always important to consider what the ramifications might be when you make a decision and you start cutting and start monkeying around and getting ahead of yourself. So that's going to happen. This piece is going to get removed. I'm going to fashion, I've got lots of new metal, exactly the same. Slightly heavier gauge actually, which is fine. and I'll get that done. When I get that repair done, that'll be on another video, so you can inspect and judge for yourself my quality of my work. But also in here, the inner sill is heavily corroded and it's missing. This part ended here, and it did extend at one point up to here. So I'm going to cut this back. I'm going to cut this flush, and I'm going to cut this back a bit. I'm going to bend some metal, some really good metal I have, and I'm going to fashion an extension to the inner sill lip here and make sure that it comes up to this piece here. So obviously this is the kick plate, which is tack welded. Let's see, it's tack welded right along this line here, goes straight through here. And then I have to cut this portion out here, and I have to make it big enough and long enough. I have to put a fold in it here so that I can weld it, spot weld it to the lip down here when I make the new extension. So what I'm going to do is cut this out. First I'm going to take some new metal, more than I need. It's going to extend down quite a ways, and I'm going to well, actually what I'll do is I'll make a pattern. I'm going to use tape, and I'm going to make a tape template, and I'm going to mark where the fold starts, and I'll fashion that fold into here so that when you put the new section of inner sill in, everything meets up at this seam here. I don't know if that actually explains everything. Now further, from the other day, I was assessing the damage. There's a pocket that, pardon the shaky camera here. The outer sill comes down here, and the end of it there's a stub that fits in a pocket here. And this pocket was severely corroded. You can see how badly damaged over time it became, and basically was non-existent there. It wasn't supporting the bottom of the sill here. All these spot welds down here had, all these spot welds down on this location had long ago let go. The metal let go. And you can see that there's still a remnant of the old outer sill in there. I'll take that off in a sec. But this pocket is part of the structure here for the kick plate and the footwell on the passenger side. So what I've done is I've decided that I'm going to just take this right off, this piece here that forms the pocket for the stub of the outer sill, and this is what I'm left with. And that rusty piece here, you can see edge on, is what's left of the outer sill that would fit in the pocket, and it was spot welded to the structure here, which was located right here. Now this is important because this piece here is welded to this, and it buttresses up this pillar here, the A pillar. So I'm going to rebuild this, and I'm going to rebuild it in such a way that it's, well, first of all, it's going to be corrosion free, and it's going to be slightly heavier gauge metal, and it's going to be a bit of a stronger structure when I'm done with it. And I'm going to finish this off. This will be slightly, this piece here will be slightly oversized, and it'll be reinstalled and welded to this pillar here, to the bottom, and then that'll be welded to this new section that I'm about to build here once I get my tape pattern made and that. And this piece here, this lip that my finger is touching right now, that's the upper portion of the outer sill that slides underneath here and then was spot welded to this this knee here. So I have to actually separate this at some point because I have to be able to get the new outer sill underneath here and between the inner sill lip here and what's here. And the same applies further here in the B-pillar area. I have to support this. I have to take the structure out. The old outer sill fits underneath here and then is tack welded to this inner sill lip. This here is all part of the inner sill. So that's where I am now. Now let's look inside again. I have to break some more spot welds. I've marked them here, all the way along here. I'm going to break those. And as I said the other day, I'm going to have to separate. Excuse me. I'm going to have to separate the this edge here from the footwell. I want to maintain this angle here. I want to get that right, just for ease of reinstallation. But this piece is going to get this inner sill. I'm going to have to cut this off at some point, probably say right about here, maybe a little bit further back here, and that. Then I'm going to have to make some cuts over here, here, and here. That puts me inside the frame rail, the top of the frame rail. So what that allows me to do, and I cut that out, I have a void there that I can reach in with the MIG welder, and I can reinforce that welding job that I'm going to have to do now because I got careless with the air chisel. And the jury's out here whether I'm going to use the whole new floor plate here, floor pan here. I might just take this out here and pull this piece completely out and then insert the new floor pan, which is ready to go in. Basically, it's been cut to fit. I have a relief in it here, and it fits quite well. Again, this is the onion thing I was mentioning the other day. I gotta not get impatient with this. I'm gonna take my time on this one, but I am gonna put new metal in here for sure. I might not take it up too high here. This metal is actually not in bad shape. It's over where to the edge of the floor plate here is where things get a little dodgy. So what I might end up doing is cutting the patch panel a bit so that I can just fit it in, and instead of getting all carried away here and replacing all this stuff. But I'll take my pick and I'll have a good check on that. I want to make sure that metal is up to the task, and I don't want to leave anything that's dodgy in here. Well, anyway, that's it for now. Hope I didn't beat the part about being impatient to death, but I learned a lesson here. I'm learning a lot every time I come out here. This is all new, as I mentioned before. One other thing I wanted to mention is the fact that I do have another YouTube channel, and that was called Grandpa Gary's, that's Garry, Grandpa Gary's Garage Chaos. That was my old YouTube channel, and now that I've gone to the GoPro, this channel that you're watching currently is Grandpa Gary's Jaguar Mark II Adventure on YouTube. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to sign off. Enough talking. It's time to get to work.